Day 29 of the Ghostly Tales. Not far from Sunderland, there's a castle called Hilton Castle, and this was built in the 11th or 12th century. It is still there today, but not as glorious as it was in its past. There's a tale of a ghost which was said to haunt the castle, and this involves a young stable boy who worked at the castle for one of the Hilton family. His boss was a mean man and with a very fast temper, and the stable boy was young, and as young'uns were, he was not always keen to do a bit of work, and when he could and took his chance, he would hide somewhere to have a kip. This one day, his lord sent down word for him to get his horse ready so his lord could go out for a ride. After waiting, the lord went down and his horse was not ready. In a fit of anger, he started stomping around the stables, shouting for the stable boy. And there he found him lying fast asleep in the hay. In his anger, he picked up the pitchfork, chucked it at the stable boy, and pierced him straight through the heart, killing him outright. The Lord took him and just chucked him in the muck bin. Now, 100 years later, the Hiltons were still there, and they used to have the servants doing all the work. And on a night time, usually after a banquet, because everybody was so tired, they would leave the washing up and the tidying up until the next morning. But many a time they would come down to find that all the work had been done. Some of the older servants said it was the card lad who was doing the work. If the servants did the work on a night time and cleaned everything up, the castle would never rest. And the card lad would be stomping around, slamming and shutting doors because he had no work to do. So the servants used to leave a bit of work for him to do so they would get a good night's sleep. One of the servants decided that they would make some clothes for the card lad, and they spent the next few days knitting and sewing and stitching a suit for him, making him trousers, a shirt and a jacket, and putting it on the night time. They put it out for the card lad to see. The servant stayed up to see what would happen, and as she waited, she started to hear the doors opening, and then she noticed a shadow. The card lad walked into the kitchens, saw his clothes, put on his trousers, put on his shirt and put on his jacket and danced a merry jig. And then he said, the card lad's got trousers, the card lad's got a shirt, the card lad's got a jacket with a hood. The card lad will never do any more good. And with that, he disappeared. From then on, every so often there would be clangs and batters and clats and stampings. But the servants used to leave stuff for the card lad to do. But with his new suit, he never would do it again. Now the story of the card lad sounds very similar to what a brownie used to be. A brownie was a house fairy or a house spirit guardian who would help out around the house, and people would leave little bits of jobs for the brownie to do, and if the brownie didn't have things to do, then he would get up to mischief. So if you think you've got a brownie, them dishes what you're washing tonight, maybe just leave them, because the brownie might help you out, and far better get your dishes done off the brownie than be upset and start smashing about the place.